What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Team Talk, the final Team Talk for the home and away season. Let's get into it. So, this is it. This is the final home and away side picked for the home and away season. 24 rounds in. Like I said in my preview, I just can't believe how quick this season has gone. And this is the final team, and we've had to make 3 forced changes. Jacob Ryan has to come out with a concussion. Beau McCreary has to come out with a suspension for the dumping tackle, and then Nathan Murphy has to come out with a back glute corky. I reported that on my Instagram a couple of days ago, so he'll play the first final. So 3 forced changes. Now, what does that look like? It sucks, right? Any forced change before final sucks, but you know, we didn't have to rest any players. You know, sometimes, teams rest their players before finals, but thankfully we have that week off so we can go in with a pretty much full team from what we can pick with so many, or more injuries than we've had in the last 24 weeks. I can't remember our injury list being as big as it is for quite a while this year. But we'll get some players returning for the first final, so that's another headache in a couple of weeks. But with this team now, like I said, those 3 guys come out. Coming in, or back into the team, is Bobby Hill, that we just missed his energy, his electricity in that forward line. And I'm not just talking about, because he's special around goals or anything like that. His explosiveness, when the ball hits the floor, we don't have anyone like him on our team besides Beau McCreary, but Beau uses his speed and his agility and pace and stuff as a more defensive half-forward role. He's not using that speed when the ball hits the deck going like a crummer and then kicking a goal, right? Sometimes you will, but for more often than not, it's down the wing, like we see him going from half-back down the wing, half-forward line, and then doing that. Bobby Hill, and I posted about it on my Instagram, that goal against Geelong where my check, I got the free kick, but the ball dropped. Hill picked it up from pretty much the centre and just ran, just quick, right? That we just missed that last week, definitely against the Lions when the ball hit the deck. So we get to see that again, and we've all said that Ginnivan and Bobby Hill play really well together. Lets Bobby go up the ground a little bit more, and he can bring that speed in. Now without Beau, you would think Bobby Hill kind of plays that Beau McCreary role a little bit. He's not going to emulate his defensive efforts, but that speed down the wing is something that we will need tomorrow night against Essendon. Another guy coming in, Jordan De Goey. Now, we know how good Jordan can be. He's had that injury interruption. Couldn't play last week. Had we have played on Saturday, Craig McRae said he would have definitely played. So he's raring to go. And finals Jordan De Goey is a different beast, right? We saw what he did last year. That Geelong game, kicked those 3 goals, nearly beat Geelong off his own boot. But the finals Jordan De Goey is a different beast. Hopefully he brings that ferocity that we need in that midfield that we lacked. We lacked pace in the midfield. We lacked that ferocity last week against the Lions. Jordan De Goey is there to really bring it in, and he's just going to amplify that midfield just to no end. And we definitely do miss him. And if he can, get a really good game under his belt against the Bombers, that's just going to say how he goes throughout finals. The other guy we're bringing in is, we're kind of just bringing those 2 in from injuries. Mason Cox comes in. He was the sub last week. He comes into the side. So we're going to see again how a Darcy Cameron, Mason Cox situation plays out. Is that our best combination going forward with all the tools that we do have? I really don't know. I know you guys have some thoughts about Darcy Cameron and Mason Cox as well. I love Mason Cox, and I think I said this in the review of that game, as a full-time ruckman. I think he's a really good ruckman. He's not the best ruckman, but I think he's really good, does the job really well, competes really well. Craig McRae also mentioned in his presser that the funny thing about hunger is, if you take food from someone, they're going to be hungry. We took a couple of games from Mason Cox. As soon as he got his chance back in, he was hungry. Same with Ginnivan, right? So I think Mason Cox into this side. In finals, is this going to sort of take, I guess we'll see. It'll be a dress rehearsal against Essendon. They are without Sam Draper. We'll talk about their ins and outs a bit later. They are without Sam Draper though, so it's going to be interesting. But if Mason Cox dominates and Darcy doesn't, maybe we have our answer there. Now, oh boy, old drum roll. Finlay McRae. You have been calling out for him. Every post about game day, every third post, I've got someone saying, what's going on with Finn? How's Finn looking? Is he gonna, the contract, is he gonna get traded? Where is he in the team? What is going on? He's in. In like Finn. Finn gets a game. Yes, it's as the sub, but we just talked about hunger, right? We talked about how taking food away is going to make you hungry. Finn has been dominating in the VFL. Yes, his disposal rate isn't that good, but he's doing everything else incredibly well, exceptionally well, playing AFL standard in the VFL, right? He has been starved of opportunities in the AFL. Now he gets his chance to shine. Yes, he's going to come on as a sub, and look, fingers crossed there's no injuries, touching wood, barring any injuries, he probably comes on at maybe 3/4 time. Maybe they give Tom Mitchell a rest or Scott Pendlebury a rest. Someone with the older legs, maybe even Taylor Adams, they give him a rest, right? Finn, when he gets in, it's going to be unlike any sort of Finn that we've seen before. It's not going to be like the Finn that we saw a couple times last year or, years previous, where he'd just be trudging along and doing his own thing. Finn is going to want to prove himself that he can stay in this team. Maybe, he's not the quickest guy, but maybe he's something that we miss in the midfield, a young head in the midfield, Doesn't mean that he's going to play finals. Who knows? We just got to see how he goes as the sub when he comes in. And even saying that in a, not negative way, but in a glass half empty way, maybe, he's just auditioning for his next team. So who really knows, right? He is contracted till the end of next year, so who really knows? But it's just great to see him get reward for effort. And we've talked about all year reward for effort in the VFL, and Finn finally gets that reward for effort. Now, Essendon can't make finals unless they beat us by 100 points and Carlton beat the Giants by over 100 points, right? That's not going to happen. So they've made some wide-ranging changes. Caldwell comes out with the hip. Guelphy, a hamstring. Wright's injured. No Draper. Jake Stringer's out. Jake Kelly is out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6 players out. And they're 6 pretty good players. Jake Kelly in defense, Stringer, Draper, right? Draper is just their sort of icon down there at the hangar. Not having him and then letting Mason Cox and Darcy Cameron, have their way with the ruck would be very, very nice. They bring in Wiedemann, Nick Bryan, Snelling, Setterfield, and Baldwin. So not household names. Wiedemann might stretch our defense a little bit, but they're not household names. A lot of big names out. No Peter Wright, no Jake Stringer, and no Draper, because Draper can go down forward a little bit as well. It really helps our defense because there's no Darcy Moore, there's no Nathan Murphy. People thought we were going to bring in Trey Rusco. I thought we were going to bring in Trey Rusco, but there's none of that. So, Jeremy Howe probably floats down to defensive 50 to help now. So I like their outs. I don't like that they're injured. You don't want to wish injury on any sort of player or person. But I like those outs for us anyway. And with this sort of team, with this sort of list, if we're winning by, I know I predicted 40 points and that Essendon are going to come out hard. And I think Essendon will still come out hard. But I think now, with those outs, anything less than a 60-point win is just sort of redundant, right? Like, I know winning is winning, but you want to... for 5 years, I've talked about putting teams to the sword. This team, we need to put to the sword. If all these guys were in last week and the Giants beat them by 126 points... who's to say we can't beat them by 150? Will it happen? No, because we're Collingwood. We don't do that. We don't do that at all. We don't do that, right? It'd be nice if we did, but we don't. So I expect a big performance by these Magpies leading into finals. All the naysayers backs against the wall. Craig McRae is pissed. You can tell in his presses. The fans are pissed as well. So we need a big response, and I think we're going to get it. What do I rate this team's ins and outs, though? I think just having Finn bumps it up to an 8.5, or yeah, an 8.5, because Murphy, McCreary coming out of the team. Yes, Bobby Hill, Jordan DeGoey, Mace Cox, and then Finlay McRae. 8.5 is where I sit with this team. But let me know your thoughts down below. What do you rate this team out of 10, and what are your predictions for this game? But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later.